This is a Film Stories original podcast. We made this.
Everyone to the X-Cast. The truth is in here. This is our special Fight the Future Minute podcast. I'm Russ Hugo, and you're listening to our coverage of Minute 66 of the X-Files. Fight the Future. This minute begins at the classic time of 1:05 and ends at 1:05:59. And this is probably best summed up as helicopters. So many helicopters. What's your opinion about helicopters, Katie?
Black helicopters. I like them. I did forget to say in the last minute, it ends like just as the light is coming out from behind the field. You don't know what it is yet. And it's like, if you have that shot where it's showing Mulder Scully, the light is like illuminating their face and you don't know what's coming over the ridge. It might be a UFO, but it's black helicopters. And that always makes it exciting.
That's a great point. I mean, that's a classic X-Files trope. How many of is this a UFO light? And it always works. Yeah. And sometimes it actually was a UFO. The show played, fair. But, going from the pilot on, how many times they did that, and I don't get sick of it.
No, I mean, there's, like 5 episodes at least I can think of off the top of my head. It's, or maybe there's a UFO, then there's a helicopter. So I love that kind of dichotomy. Lights in the sky.
And I don't think helicopters were that common in X-Files, I'm guessing because of how much it cost to actually hire them. But I think other than Anasazi, and I can't really think of too many other episodes during the show where they actually, I know I Want to Believe they take a helicopter ride, but...
Yeah, like Deep Throat, they have one.
Oh, that's right.
731.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you don't see the full helicopter, but maybe it's a rig. I don't know, but you see that kind of light shining down and you hear the noise.
Not common. So it is exciting. And like you said, these are black helicopters. Very, very 90s. Remember once I was on a hike with a friend and a friend of a friend. And the friend of the friend, we were talking something about black helicopters. And he asked if I believed in black helicopters. And I said, yeah, of course I do, because I've seen them. And he thought I was crazy. And my whole thought was, well, this really gets down to the classic semantics of what are we talking about? Because I've seen a helicopter that is black that was a military helicopter.
Right.
Does that mean there are aliens piloting it? No, there was a black helicopter. And, this is semiotics in the 90s to this guy meant it's unmarked, it's driven by, some secret alien special forces or something. I'm like,
or like the Men in Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shadow government.
But I just don't think it ever got fleshed out, and it wasn't iconic enough like the Men in Black. I mean, that's a good look. That's a good story. It's a good narrative. It's like the ghost forms of D.B. Cooper. But the black helicopters was just okay, it's just an unmarked military helicopter that does covert stuff, I guess, like you're saying for the shadow government.
Yeah.
It's not really that. There's not really that much to it. It's still just a helicopter. But I do say this is a great point to bring them in to the X-Files. Mm-hmm. It's good trailer fodder.
Oh, definitely. This was definitely in the trailer. And yeah, a lot of the scene with, the running and the popping out of the cornfield, all that was used to sort of pique your interest. And I remember the sound of it because I had it turned up really loud rewatching these scenes, and just like the pounding of the blades and the whirring, and you have the wind going through the cornfield, and the light is kind of shining off that atmospheric smoke they were pumping in everywhere. And it's a very, it kind of hits all your senses, this scene.
In fact, in my notes, one of the few words I wrote was screeching. So, Yeah, definitely cacophonous.
Yeah, it's it just keeps going. It's like relentless bombardment of noise.
Yeah, other than that, the only dialogue we get is a small grunt when Scully crouches. And then a lot of wind-blown hair from the Copters.
Yep. A lot of corn. And again, she gets left behind. Mulder's running ahead, and she's, she crouches much sooner. I mean, they're running through the searchlight quite a lot. Like, really, if they were going to try and shoot them, they were in the light quite a bit. They weren't really doing a great job of hiding. And this goes over into the next scene as well, so.
Yes. Yeah, and I get that they're trying to split up and all the rest, but yeah, but it works good for the action, for the excitement.
It does. This is like a really, really heavy action scene. I love the shot at the end of the minute, too, when you see the two copters kind of coming at you and they turn. They kind of bank away from the camera. It's not just a straight shot. It's like a really cool fluid movement that they do, and I love that shot.
Yeah, the direction by Bowman here, just keeping because not much is really happening, and once you get to the end, you realize there's not even really a threat. The fact that you just go from being chased by bees to larger metallic bees.
They sound even angrier.
Very much. Yeah, and they would probably sting a lot worse. It's really well directed and just ramps up the pace nicely. Do you have any thoughts about black helicopters?
I never really put much thought into them, like conspiracy-wise.
I think that's the problem. They're just kind of boring. I just don't.
Well, there's that song, Unmarked Helicopters. Max was fond of that song.
I don't know if I know that song.
Max Fennick, he had it playing on his stereo. It's not actually.
Oh, okay.
I want to say Soul Coughing, maybe. I actually do have it in my X-Files playlist that I cobbled together here.
I may have to edit this so I don't seem like a bad fan. It is Soul Coughing. Nice. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Check it out later. That's a blast from the past. That band name. So.
Yeah, it pops up in Fallen Angel. Max has it playing on his stereo.
When they first visit his van or whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That all sounds fun.
But the lyrics are very much like, unmarked helicopters. What are they doing? That kind of thing.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Fun. Get stuck in your head, that song.
I'll go check it out. Get a little spooked. Get a little on edge. If you were to write an X-Files episode about I think it's better maybe to think of, let's say, covert unmarked helicopters, because black helicopters it's not good enough of a term. What would happen? What would be the plot?
Oh, what would be the plot? I don't
putting you on the spot here to do a little script popcorn session.
I don't really know. Probably this kind of thing. They, Mulder and Scully would be somewhere where they shouldn't be. They get chased away. I mean, it's good for a chase. A good helicopter chase always is exciting.
Okay, let me think of this way. If you could add black helicopters to any existing X-Files episode, which one do you think would be the best fit? And don't say Tesos dos Bichos, because that's the correct answer, and that's mine. That's mine. So
I was not going to say that, no. Is one of the cats flying the helicopter in that scene?
Well, that's just how they're being wrangled.
Okay.
Kind of herding them with the helicopters.
I think Deep Throat would be really good. Kind of to ramp up the tension of Mulder being on the base.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking another thing potentially at the end of like Pine Bluff variant, to have them come in and do something spooky, like clean up the mess or something.
Yep.
But anything else about this scene? Any fun facts from the book about helicopters?
I do have some more fun facts. Apparently this was really difficult to light properly, this whole cornfield, so they have searchlights providing extra kind of ambient lighting. And they had to paint the helicopter blades with white stripes, so when they spin really fast, you can see the blade. It doesn't just disappear into nothingness. The circle stood out. They had an aerial coordinator on set, and apparently it was really hard to get the height right, so they had to fly low enough to show up in the frame, but not too low that they would, pose a danger to the actors and the crew who were on the ground. So that was kind of tricky to set up. And again, we have doubles running in the wide shots when the copters are like swooping over them. But obviously we have close-ups of Mulder and Scully as well. And apparently Gillian Anderson said that this was her least favorite part to shoot of the whole movie, because with, the dust running through this cornfield, the leaves they have that kind of serrated edge, so they're sharp. There was pollen everywhere. She said David Duchovny would be running ahead of her and the leaves would all snap back in her face. So it sounds kind of horrible to be running through this cornfield.
I'm sympathetic to all that. And there's probably spiders too, like we were talking about earlier.
There probably are. Yep. So it's a pretty good acting job.
Yeah, I'm watching it now, and you can see the faint white aspect on the blades. You're right.
Mm-hmm. Just to make it stand out more.
Yeah, although to be fair, those helicopters seem a little bit more gray than black. They're kind of smoky, and they got that nice orange hue glowing from the inside. They're very warmly lit.
Yeah, I noticed the inside. It kind of makes it look spaceshipy, like with the inside color.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, but yeah, they're like the kind of matte, really matte dark gray. So I guess
Yes.
Unmarked helicopters is a better term.
There we go.
Yeah.
But they're also kind of like gentle, friendly, like Nam era style, soft nose helicopters. In my head, of when I think of like the traditional black helicopter, they have that more aggressive front edge with maybe a machine gun or something.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like something Magnum PI's friend might fly.
Well, they are just there to chase them. They're not there to shoot them.
They're doing a great job being friendly escorts there.
They are. Yep. Yeah, I like that. It's a gentle escort away from...
Yeah. They're screeching and noisy, but, they're not shooting at you.
Yep. Very disorienting. I find, like, the noise especially, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, mixed with all the noise of the corn sounds fluttering everywhere and the chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Well, minute 66, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I don't think so, but yeah, it's like the most, I think, action-heavy part of the whole movie, really. I mean, there's the explosion in the beginning, but this is kind of like that sustained running and bombardment of your senses, and it kind of right in the middle of the movie, too. So I think it's a really, really good action set piece.
All true. All true. Well stated. And until our next minute, remember, as always, trust no one.
Elsewhere on We Made This. The Movie Palace.
Anyway, I mean, what kind of aspects of his films do you really enjoy? Because obviously we're speaking now, decades after the fact. But, the great thing is many of his films do continue to kind of resonate and stand up tremendously well today. So, yeah, what is it you like about Hitchcock?
Jeez, there's so much I like about him.
Yeah.
Where do I start? He's just, I think I was actually having this discussion with my mom the other day because, as I said, she's the only one who ever really wants to watch these films with me. And I said to her, I think what he was particularly great at was showing how small people's lives actually can be. Like the minutiae.
We played this.
There is this disability advocate called Sam Bosworth, who is a really avid gamer, who does talk a lot about accessibility of games and about how people shouldn't be shamed for wanting an easy mode.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be a controversial topic in the gaming community. And also how, I can't remember what the game was, but there was this, I think it was a PS2 game, was it? I can't remember. It wasn't PSP, it was PS4. But basically you had to use pedals for this driving game, and he can't do that. So they had to basically find a way to alter the game themselves.
Yeah.
The developers didn't think about that.
The time is now. A Millennium podcast.
Rating has been for this episode, and if not, would you like to hazard a guess?
I gotta admit, Kurt, that I am kind of cheating because I have the page open.
I like that you're only kind of cheating. I like that it's not really cheating. It's
Well, it wasn't intentional cheating, but now that you ask, my guess is like it's probably like an 8.9 is my guess.
Yeah, would you guess around 440 people voted?
Yeah, probably around there. Yeah.
I tell you what, you're bang on. It is the best rated episode of Millennium.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.